I'm talking very, because I can't say too much. Yes. And Marvel's here, so I'm kind of like.
Tell me something. What do you know about Wakanda?
When Ryan first talked to me about Wakanda, or about Black Panther, I really didn't know, I knew Black Panther, but I wasn't familiar with the comic book world or all the worlds. And so I quickly asked my 19-year-old son who loves Marvel, and he gave me a Marvel dictionary. So I started just learning about the characters. That's where I started. Meanwhile, Ryan was writing in Africa, sending me photos of just people on the street, like African masks that he liked, that he would see in the market, just trees that he thought he really loved and liked, and all these, the architecture, just everyday life. And from that, and from me learning everything, because you become an expert as a designer and whatever it is you do, so I became a comic book expert. And then knowing everything that Ryan and I talked about was, because Wakanda is a fictional African nation, we wanted to include where we located it in the movie. The bordering countries, we wanted to include that culture, sort of like saying, oh, they, in the beginning 10,000 years ago, all these different tribes came to this piece of land and then stayed. Once they resolved maybe whatever conflict they might have had, still always going to have conflict, but realized that if they work together, that they can also have this really great society. So we wanted to make sure that we were including these other cultures, tribal and traditional, and also Wakanda's never been colonized, so what does that look like, And so it was a lot of grabbing architecture and looking at it, and figuring out, I think the biggest thing was trying to figure out the technology for the country, which it'll be fabulous.
I'm the only one who's seen it and made it out alive.
I probably put up 10,000 pictures, 5 to 10,000 photo references from stuff that he sent me to stuff that I found. And even if there was something that I didn't think worked for a certain thing, I kept it, knowing that there's probably a process there for whatever, that thing was. Okay, so maybe this then becomes that piece of this thing that we need to complete, and I'm talking very, because I can't say too much. Yes. And Marvel's here, so I'm kind of like.
The world is changing. Soon there will only be the conquered and the conquerors.
It was collaborative with Ryan, and other than that, I had as much freedom as I wanted. Marvel was fantastic with that. They, there's always sitting down with Marvel, and they will then look like, okay, I'd present to them here's what I'm presenting to you today for this X, Y, and Z, and we all kind of sit around, and they would critique it, and make notes and tell me this is what we're feeling, this is what we're not feeling, and then I go back to the drawing board. As far as that is, though, I kind of said, hey, surprise, here's this. And there are some surprises, and they were so fantastic to be like, you know what? Yeah, it's more different than anything we've done at Marvel, so they were on board for that, which was really fantastic.